It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. Okay y'all, it's a new week, it's a Monday, and I am doing metal music today, but we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to the gaming world today, and I'm happy that you are with me. So, Metal Gear is a franchise of stealth games first released all the way back in 1987. There's been a lot of sequels and expansions to the original plot over the years, and today we're going to be looking at the game Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This was a game that was released in 2013 across a variety of gaming platforms, and as far as I can tell, in the game, the player controls returning Metal Gear character Raiden, Raiden, as he attempts to thwart the plans of a private military company who is set about trying to destabilize peaceful nations for their own profit. Sounds like an interesting thing for a game. The music for this game is composed by Jamie Christopherson, and he is aided by several others in that quest as well. And as this version of the game is more focused on action than stealth style movements as in previous versions of the game, the music here needed to take on a different style, something heavier, something more aggressive, something that's going to fit with us for Metal Monday. Right? That's where I'm going. So Jamie ended up writing 13 vocal songs for the original soundtrack, and we're going to be listening to the song It Has to Be This Way from the original soundtrack. It seems like it's one of the more well-known tunes from this soundtrack, and it's the theme for the game's main antagonist, who is Senator Stephen Armstrong. So, again, the song is written by Jamie Christopherson. He is assisted by Logan Mader. The vocals are by Jimmy Gnecco. Ralph Alexander is on the drums. Johnny Death and Logan Mader are on the guitars. And Logan also plays the bass, and he recorded and mixed the track. So let's see what this is all about. It has to be this way, y'all. And it's from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Off we go. Okay. Sounds like B minor. Yeah. There's a flat 6. 4. 1. Woo! I like the drums. It's not all double kick. They put those little triplets and fast notes in there right when they need to. New key. And we get to the words. Lands in major. Non-stop. I think that it landed on A. Right. That upper half step extension on it. Verse 2. They're in another new key. There's a 3. Keep moving keys. Beneath the blood. shit's going down, y'all. What? Went down by half step. Did he get back to B? They did. They got back to where they started before they went into the words. Never ending. This is relentless. It's the same move that they did before. And they're going back to verse 1. Lyrics. D minor. Up to F. Down to B flat. To the C. And it resolves into F major. And that's a weird spot to resolve to a major key. So A sets up as an extended dominant from where we were. Then it goes to G minor, thank you, for verse 2. Again, so they're just repeating verse 1 and verse 2. G minor, down to E flat, up to F, up to G minor. That's the F, and 1. Where the hell did I think they got back to B? That's interesting. They were hanging out. Okay, let me see if I can figure out what was happening, if I can remember it, because it was a lot of stuff. They were in G minor in that verse 2, and it was coming up the scale from E flat to F to G, but it didn't go from F to G. It went F down a half step to E. Weird. Not in that key. Right? And then once they got there, that was the shift. Once they got to that E chord, then it was just the 4 chord to B minor, which is where they started. And you've got 2 verses here. They ended up giving you the introduction in B, and then it moved to D and F major, D minor F for that first verse, and then it went to like G minor for the second verse, and then they somehow got back from G minor to B minor. Probably through that F to E, and E is the 4 of, yeah, okay. So let's figure out what else is going on in this. I really was entertained by that. That was really cool. I expected more like guitar soloing in that, but it was more like full ensemble sound coming at you, like a symphonic metal, more than just shredding around and doing some soloing. The lyrics here are interesting as well. They depict an altercation or a fight between, I believe, our main character, our main protagonist, Raiden, and then the main antagonist, who is Senator Armstrong. And it reads as a bit of almost reluctance and disappointment, like an apology that they even have to face each other. In the first verse, standing here I realize you're just like me trying to make history, but who's to judge the right from the wrong? When our guard is down, I think we'll both agree that violence breeds violence, but in the end it has to be this way. Violence breeds violence. And I remember that when we went to the line, violence breeds violence, it's the time when it moves to a major key. That's an interesting bit of timing, compositionally, to me. What else is in here? I'm not really sure who or whom is doing the speaking in the song. I don't know whether it's Raiden or the senator, but I don't think it really matters. One of them is calling the other one out. One of them is telling the other that when most everything is stripped away, that they're more similar than they are different. Verse 2, I've carved my own path, you followed your wrath. But maybe we're both the same. The world has turned and so many have burned. But nobody is to blame. Really? Nobody's to blame? Yet staring across this barren, wasted land, I feel new life will be born beneath the blood-stained sand. The lyrics describe the inevitability of continued violence. And it's taken for granted here that the cycle of violence that just turns over and turns over and turns over will continue. And there's even, a bit about this new life that will spring up beneath the blood-stained sand of the previous battles. It's like we keep fighting about the same stuff, and they realize, we're the same, but one of us has to win. One of us is counted on to defeat the other, so let's get at it. Let's see who wins. Instead of saying, you know what, this is nuts. We should just stop this cycle of violence. They won't have a video game anymore if they do that. But it reveals some really interesting society commentary. Commentary on our modern life and how violence breeds violence. But in the end, it has to be this way. That's a statement. It's also the name of the song, right? But I don't know. Does it have to be that way? Is that what they're going for? It has to be that way or this way as a statement of a point of view of, well, there's nothing we can do about it. I hope that we can always do something about it. If something's going crazy in society, I hope that we can always do something to alleviate the issue, right? And hopefully avoid cycles of violence. But it's interesting the way that this is laid out here. It was really fascinating. And as far as I can tell, the game continues to really be popular, even though it was put forth a decade ago. And a lot of people had written me about it and asked me to take a look at this particular song from this game, and I'm happy to do it here. Also a fun one, really interesting, makes you think here on a Metal Monday. This has been It Has to Be This Way from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I think I'll come back to more from this OST, y'all. I really like that. So thanks for being with me on this Metal Monday, and we will see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.